We're going to talk about establishing a meditation practice. When people think about establishing a meditation practice, they think they're going to have to spend hours a day sitting in a corner trying to create some transcendental state, when in fact, even if you take 5 minutes a day and find a place where you will not be disturbed and just sit quietly and breathe for that period of time, it's going to benefit you in ways you cannot believe. We are so stressed with our children, our husbands, our house, our job, the economy. Maybe we're healing from illnesses. We need to make time for ourselves because as people, we cannot help anyone else unless we are healthy ourselves. So the common problems I find with establishing a meditation practice is that people don't find a place so that they can be alone for that period of time. Or they're sitting in a way that they cannot establish a meditation practice because they're uncomfortable. So if you can't sit on the floor without looking like this, then you should try to find either a zafu, a meditation cushion, or a chair to sit upon. So a meditation cushion is quite wonderful. I like the ones that are filled with buckwheat. They mold right around the bottom. And you want to sit in a way that the knees are lower than the navel. It's also very important that we cannot establish a breath if we're rounded forward. Think when you're sitting that you are a peacock, that the chest is open, the collarbone is spreading, the head of the arm bones are moving back. And then we have a tendency to jut out our chins. Keep the chin parallel to the floor. So this is the first step. One of the other things that we worry about when we're meditating is thoughts come into our heads. Well, we're busy, so our minds are busy. And the only way to learn to quiet them down is to take time and meditate. But as the thoughts come through, don't hold on to them. That's the key. I'm going to move to the chair and show people who have problems with their spine. People who have a tendency to round forward have a significant difficulty sitting on the floor. So if you sit on a chair, and I like the chair sideways because then you can move the back into the wall and move the head into the wall. So people who have scoliosis or some sort of spine imbalance or they have kyphosis, they're going to have to lean against the wall without doing this. So sometimes if you're so tight in the thoracic spine and the head of the arm bones are coming forward, we tend to jut our chin, which collapses the back of the cervical spine, which is unpleasant and not a very helpful way to meditate. So you're going to open as much as possible and keep the chin parallel to the floor. And you don't want to lose completely the lumbar curve, because that's a natural curve. But if you have a tendency to move into the lumbar spine, then you want to make sure that you bring the pubic bone up and bring the stomach back so you lengthen the lumbar spine and not compress. And then you can begin to meditate. We're going to talk about breath awareness, which is a beginner meditation, which is quite wonderful. Because you're not focusing so much on the breath, but you're also allowing the thoughts to come by into your head. But you're not going to hold on to them. David Guy, who's a wonderful master meditator, writes an amusing article about when he sits in meditation, what happens to him. And he still has to keep relearning how not to hold on to the thoughts. So when he would sit in meditation, he'd think, oh, my knee hurts. And then he would go on to think, oh, is my knee going to hurt every time I'm in meditation? Oh, am I going to need surgery on my knee? And then he'll go on to say, I wish I had better health insurance. And then he'll say, I wish the world had better health insurance, and so on and so on and so on. So a mild tweak of the knee caused him to go off in a mindless tangent. So in meditating, we have to see the thought, our knee is tweaky, then we let that go. Or, I have to go shopping, and then you let that go. Just visualize each thought floating away in a cloud, or maybe a very soft, bubbling brook. But don't hold on to them and create a whole tangent of stories associated with them. So now again, bring your heart back, bring your shoulders back, and you can have your hands either in a mudra, or you can just release them nicely down onto your thighs. And also, make sure that your shins and your quadriceps are making a right angle. So you don't want to have them splayed out and not energized, because all this energy is going to work to bring the breath deeply and make the meditation more effective. So when you start to breathe, you inhale slowly and deeply, and exhale slowly and deeply. And if the thoughts come in, let them come in and go by. Inhale slowly and deeply. Keep your eyes soft. Don't let the teeth grip. Keep the tongue releasing away from the roof of the mouth. And as you continue to sit here and breathe, just for 5 minutes to begin with, just go back to see what's happening with your posture, because sometimes as we meditate, we start to lose the form. So again, you have to lift and spread and open. And take time to see your breath. We're so horrible, we're horrible breathers here in America. We have a tendency to have very short breaths because our adrenaline's always going and we're always very short. So if you can, as you're inhaling, count maybe to 3. And then exhale should be approximately twice as long as the inhalations. So you would breathe in for 3, brief pause, slowly exhale for 6. And then when you're done, you can open your eyes and slowly come up. Namaste.